Hello, good evening and welcome ladies and gentlemen to another round of rapid fire racing action in the 2026 FIA F4 Esports Danish Championship, brought to you on the premier sim racing platform available only on PC, known as iRacing. We pick up the story once again. Another 2 weeks have passed, and as we have made our way around the globe, we've headed Italy to Spain for the Circuito di Navarra, a circuit that is not a stranger to this series, of course host to the season finale back in 2025, and there we raced on its medium layout, but here we are today for its fully fledged layout. And what a circuit it is, with a grand total of 15 corners, many of them hairpins, some of them sweepers, and only one long straight. For our drivers here today, it's going to be a challenge of time management as it is going to be a downforce, and therefore our Formula 4 drivers from Denmark have got to be absolutely eagle-eyed for their apexes, their braking points, you name it, they've got to get it right, because to do so means they may survive at the front, but get it wrong and they may be swallowed up by the pack. And who exactly is going to be leading the pack come the end of today? Well, there's one name that's been leading the way every step of the way, Morde Edrup, but will today prove to be a bit different, because all his rivals will be snapping at his heels from start to finish as the man is seen on screen. But as he gets himself set, and indeed all the drivers do, we welcome you all to this live broadcast from circuit side, and in the commentary booth you have the pairing, as always, of myself, Paul Walsh, alongside me the ever-brilliant Daniel Nestorica Clausen. Good evening to you, Daniel, and well, another round comes on past us, and with it an exciting round ahead.
Yes, definitely. This track, I'm really excited. Where it was much more about flow in the past track, this one is it's more technical, and I think they can make overtakes or attack a lot more places.
100%. I mean, Mugello, like you say, was all about finding the flying rhythm there. We had our qualifying session, of course, that was absolutely razor tight. And there's a reminder of our calendar. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we started all the way back on the 19th of January at Circuit Zandvoort. Then we made our way to Australia to the Bend, then to Montecento, Rudskogen, and that was, of course, to complete the first half of the season. But into March we marched, and indeed, Mugello on the 2nd of March was where we got to see some absolutely static fighting. And here today is the 16th of March, and we're at the Circuito di Navarra. Next time out, we'll be staying in Spain, and that's where we wrap up the season, and we'll be heading to the circuit to Barcelona, Catalonia on the 30th of March. Indeed, it could prove a very pivotal round there, and here are the standings as we make our way into this round. And Daniel, the thing is, the one name at the top as always, Morde Edrup, 28 points ahead at the moment, still 2 rounds to go and an all-important drop score, but as we're talking about earlier in the fact, all he needs to do right now is keep it consistent, but one small mistake and he could see his rivals catch up.
Yeah, he's making it tough for the others, to be honest. He's thriving, and he's peaking right now. You know, he's also driving some real race cars this season, so it's all lining up, and I'm happy to see a fellow sim racer making it on top here and going forward in his sport.
Oh, 100%. And we go forward into the throes of the qualifying session. 10 minutes in duration, of which we come into it with 7.5 minutes left on the clock. And we do see this wonderful circuit. Now, for those not in the know, the Circuito di Navarra has gone through many owners over its history. Recently taken over by none other than MSV, Motorsport Vision, the British organisation headed up by the Palmer family. But that's not important to these drivers, as Victor Nilsson makes his way on around. And, well, we're talking only moments ago about the fact that Morde Edrup really has been the name at the top. And so much so, he's had 7 out of 8 wins so far. Frederik Kierkegaard, of course, only 1 win to his name. He's the only one who's been able to break the dominance of our defending champion. And this man, Victor Nilsson, well, you may remember, Daniel, last round at Mugello, he thought he got it done in race number 2, but just missed out by literally millimetres at the finish line.
You know, yeah, he's struggling there as well. You need to push it really hard, and if anyone can battle Malta, that's Victor. And as we talked about it earlier, I think he should take a bit more chances, to be honest. He's got nothing to lose. Why not? I'm really happy to see the onboard here, though, because as you might have noticed, he's really using the track to the max. And here we are on the long straight, actually, where we expect some people to line up because of the draft. It's incredibly long. And you have a double right-hander here, and you really need to make the apex really well on the right hand. Look at this, and trail brake slightly here, and try to keep the momentum, touch the curb here, yep. And then again, you just pedal to the metal here until you hit a very hard uphill left. Oh, he's backing up. No, he's going full throttle now. Malta is leading again, so Victor needs to get this lap down.
Oh, 100%. And it did look as though there he's going on the attack. He does have a bit more time available, but as we do see there, Luke Reimer currently second fastest, only 18 thousandths behind. And this qualifying session, perhaps we're expecting it to be a little bit more of an open session in the fact that at Mugello, top 5 are separated by less than what was a 10th. The top 18 were separated by less than half a second. But here so far, I mean, well, it's only a 10th between the top 2. And then if you take half a second, you're going down to 13th place. So a little bit more spread today, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. But let's see. I still think it's very close. Did you notice he just made a mistake? So he's restarting here. He cut the corner and got an X. And then your lap is not counting. And he's trying again, Luke, here. Did Victor not improve in the meantime?
He's staying 8th place at the moment, so for Victor Nilsson, he's going to find some time quickly as Sebastian Bach leaps up to 4th. So it does seem some improvements are coming, but not for the man who really needs to be the danger to our championship leader.
Yeah, that's interesting. We usually see him very close, so I do expect him to show up. It's still 4 minutes to go, so and the tire temps are so important in this class. So let's see. And also Luke really wants to improve, even though he's very close to Malte already. And you could say if it's a safe margin to the others, but again, tire temps and you might find a little more time. If we look at where he is on track now, look, he really needs to keep the momentum rolling through that right-hander here, and he comes down to the technical, the last part of the track. I think it's T13 here, and he will be cutting a bit. And as early on throttle again, and you need to be ready here, which is also a place where people can overtake each other here, destroy each other's line. But here he's not cutting that enough, I think. Who knows? And you see, it's very slow corners here, some of the slowest corners. And yeah, it really makes for some interesting race in this section. And it looks like he got this one better than the one before. He's not aborting at least, so let's see what his lap time will be as he approaches the last corner on his right hand here, which is also an interesting place in the race because you can actually block the opponent and take it to the start finish line right here when he crosses it right there. Did he improve? Nope. Yeah, nope, he didn't.
He matched his previous best, though. He was only out by 600s was Luke Reimer. Sebastian Bach, meanwhile, he has moved up to 3rd now, and we have had it confirmed in the meantime. You were right, by the way, regarding Victor Nilsson. He did abort that lap, so he set himself up for one final attack, and he moves up to 6th place off camera there. So Victor Nilsson is making progress, but 2 tenths off the pole still, and Sebastian Bach here attacking this lap. I mean, we've seen him be quick this season. Perhaps he's been one of those drivers who he hasn't quite had the time to shine as some of the others, but as he backs off there, he's not happy with that lap.
Yeah, it's the tiniest mistake, and we just, as we said, this track is very technical. So as the previous track was much more about flow, here you do a lot more braking, a lot more steering input, and the possibility to make one tiny mistake, which costs a lot, is a lot higher. And Luke is really in the zone. He really wants to improve, even on his good lap. I will be surprised if Victor does not make it further up. He's really been on the tails of Malte the entire season, and even ahead a couple of times. So this could be a... I don't want to call it a decider. I know you have the numbers ready. Oh, he aborted again. Did you see?
Yeah, he's aborting that, and well, that's going to be it for Luke Reimer, because of course when the clock says 0, we immediately go back to the pit lane. We do not give our drivers overtime where they're allowed to complete the lap they're currently on. They have to get it done within the 10 minutes. But here is the man, Daniel. Let's see what he can do here. He's currently 6th. He's only got a few more corners to go.
Yeah, you should really cut that corner. And here, you really misjudge this corner so easily. It looks like he kept the momentum really good going, and a wide exit, straight line. Let's see what happens. 2, 1. Nope.
Yep. Fourth place in the end. So he does improve, but, well, still 3 tenths off a pole. It's crazy to think every time somebody improves, suddenly Morde Edrup just finds an extra 10. He's just finding more and more time out there.
Yeah, that's Malte. Yeah. He deserves it. He's really doing a good job this season again. So let's see. What about Marcus here? Back into the technical area again here. 40 seconds remaining. bit conservative on cutting that corner. I know you can cut it a bit more. This one is good, but it's all about keeping the momentum and not getting an exit. So you want to take some chances, but not too much, because it will cost you even dearly, and your entire lap is lost, even though you're doing good. So you don't want to exceed the track limits. Definitely. And here, the last corner. It's really a hard corner.
He's lost it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could see it on his face and the camera there. As soon as it started going, he knew the car had snapped loose. And constantly dancing sideways, though.
Yeah. But it is a hard corner because you are basically down to, I don't know, 50 kph or something. I don't know, 70. So, yeah. There we have it.
Indeed, we do have our qualifying session complete, and here is our starting grid, ladies and gentlemen, for race number 1 of round 5 of the championship. It is Morde Edrup, championship leader, who takes pole position, and in the end, a 38.289, nobody could touch it, and the closest was 2.5 tenths behind. It was Luke Reimer. The 2 Arctic Sim drivers will line up on the front row, and it is the Arctic Sim theme down to the second row as well, with Sebastian Bach out qualifying Victor Nilsson. That's the first for this season. The 2 of them separated by 1,000, so tight between them, and then Noah Carlson and Marcus Kilson for MT Race Team line up on the third row. In 7th, it's going to be Baseline Esports teams Fredrik Kierkegaard ahead of Sander Brobert. Then we do have Asger Lauritsen ahead of Magnus Jönsson. They complete your top 10. 11th, it's Albert Quadrup ahead of Miguel Siegel. And then starting on your 7th row, it's going to be William Rundfeldt ahead of Leroy Mount Ross. One of the fan favourites out there, the youngster, but he starts all the way down in 14th place today. What can you do from there? Nicholas Lund starts in 15th, just ahead of Peter Luning. And then we do have Miguel Newell and Albert Pallet on row at number 9. And then completing your top 20, it's Martin Bertelsen ahead of Philip Ilkegård. And then we have William Fries completing your 21 car starting order. So that is our grid, all of them separated within a second there in total. Another tight qualifying session, even arguably one of the most technical circuits on our calendar. And do keep in mind, this circuit only 2.44 miles in length, or 3.92 kilometres depending on your preference of units. We'll never change the number of corners, plenty of them, 15. And there is our grid, Daniel, almost all set to go.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting, even though Victor is, quite far behind here, he will get some draft, and he has the inside for this corner. Here we go.
Oh, it's lights out and away we go as they roar the way away down towards turn 1. A brilliant start there from our pole sitter, but meanwhile Luke Reimer and Sebastian Bach swapping sides as they head down towards turn 1. So it looks like Edward here is going to have all the space in front of him, but 3 wide almost. They come down to the opening corner, but Victor Nilsson decides not to gamble there, holds a tight inside line, gets a bit close to back, taps what is Luke Reimer on the rear. He's going to fall backwards then, be swallowed up by Noah Carlson and Marcus de Kilson. They're going to absolutely attack him going through 4 and 5, but in the end it looks as though that only one was going to get ahead. That's going to be Noah Carlson on the inside. 2 wide come up the hill, but this is where now it's going to get very tight very quickly. Oh, bit of contact there. 2 cars on the inside of the road. They both back off there. Victor Nilsson not aware of what's going on, but I do believe that's Marcus de Kilson and Fredrik Kierkegaard coming together. Kierkegaard just holding on to that spot, but everyone through... Oh, it's not quite worked. I was about to say everyone's through the opening couple of corners unscathed. It's gone wrong for some drivers there, but still more fighting about. There's plenty running wide there out of turn number 8 and down towards turn 9 they come. And it looks like, Daniel, things are calming down a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but you can send it in T9 here, and yeah, 2 wide, and you don't want any contact right now. But I did see Victor struggle a bit in the start. Oh, and here this guy is really sending, he has the inside, so he will take it. The black and red car. Nothing the other can do. Yeah, position gained.
Moved there from Magnus Jönsson.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries at all as our drivers roar the way onwards, but they do calm them down now as they make their way towards the end of this lap. But again, this is normally the calm before the storm, and we talk about that time and time again this season, where everyone has a bit of a frantic moment and then goes on the attack. But here they come to the line, and after 1 lap, it's Morde Edrup who leads. Luke Reimer follows, the top 2 still together as they started. And then Sebastian Bach in 3rd ahead of Noah Carlson. Next, Victor Nilsson currently in 5th ahead of Fredrik Kierkegaard, Magnus Jönsson, Marcus de Kilson, Sander Brobert, and Albert Quadrup completing that top 10. But on the second lap, well, it looks like our top 8 close together for now at least. But of course, remember the fact that you want to finish inside the top 8 to be part of that reverse grid. That's what that green line in the time tower denotes, where we cut off the inversion on the grid. But back to our 9th place man we go.
It's clear to see that the draft on the start-finish straight puts the cars all together. Even though it's a technical track, then it equalizes it a bit, so they are all in one pack, if you might say, basically still. So nothing is settled, and no one can start a fight. If they do, they will get caught up with the others, and I think someone will do. Let's see if he tries to outbrake him here.
Swap of positions there for Seagull getting ahead of Woodward, but we also see there a little bit of a peak from Asger Lauritsen, who's trying to recover all the places he's lost since the start. He's lost 3 places from where he started. He's perhaps had the worst start of everybody, but doesn't look like there's a change this time around.
And we in the technical part, and you can outbrake some of the others, but it does have a cost. Let's see, but we are closing in on lap 2, and they will be on the long straight again. And let's see if someone will be looking to attack using the draft here. Now let's see, Mikkel here. It's a bit too far away, I think. Let's see how it evolves.
And also, I guess one of the questions I do have for you, Daniel, and perhaps our viewers as well, obviously, the slipstream behind another car is very powerful, as we see Luke Reimer get close here to our race leader. But when you're in that long line of cars, when there's 5 cars in a row, is there a point where the slipstream starts to become less and less powerful if you've got 2, 3 or 4 cars in front of you?
Not to my knowledge. I actually think you have this big hole, what do you call it, an opening, so you can go even faster. You accelerate. Would you agree?
That does make sense, to be fair. The more cars that are punching the hole in the air in front of you, the more speed you are going to pick up. As we do see there, our fan-delivered machine trying to hold on, and this is Philip Igagor, meanwhile, going on the attack. They're currently fighting over what is 18th place. Albert Pelle being one of the big favourites there in terms of his livery, and Igagor just following very closely at the moment, but I suspect thinking, how did I let him go past me?
Yeah. We have 15 minutes left, and oh, there was the attack, and can he hold it? Because yeah, I think he got it. Then there's a sharp left. No. Oh, they have a good racing etiquette, don't they? Don't you think? They're driving very fairly against each other. So far.
A wheel touch there, but it's still fair, to be fair to you. I think you're spot on there. They're literally racing on the limit, although Albert Pelle is going to be given a slight run wide there, but that's all legal, and Leroy Mount Rossmore just watches on behind in 20th.
Yeah, that's awesome, because as I said before, this little kid is not, he knows how to utilize this. Look, he positions himself very well. Now he's in the draft and definitely will go for an overtake on the T1, T2. He has the inside as well. Look at his watermelon helmet in the bottom picture there. Yeah, he's one of the youngest drivers we have here, I think.
100%. And whilst they're fighting down there, we've got a big battle going on further up the field as well on the top of your screen. That is none other than Magnus Jørgensen getting ahead of Sander Probert and Mikkel Seagull, albeit that's still very close. There's Probert coming back through turn 5 into 6, so he does tuck up the inside, just about squeeze his way on back in. Those two are relentless, and now Sander Jørgensen's going to have Seagull looking up his inside very quickly, and Mikkel Seagull's going to take that place. Remember, they are all squabbling over 7th through to 10th, and if you finish in 8th, you'll be starting on pole for race number 2, so that's a very precious place there. It doesn't give you that many points compared to winning, but it gives you the chance of even more points in the next race of the day. That's why they're all thirsting over this. But to be fair, seeing the fan delivery back there, it's making me quite thirsty in the commentary booth.
Yeah, but it was nice to see that he was passed, but he really considered to send it in T9, so I think he'll do it in next lap. And meanwhile, Malte is actually having a good pace. Let's see the gap. Luke is not that close, and the leaders are also just getting a bit away. Victor is there's a gap from Victor to Noah. Is that right?
Looks you're right there.
It's not much.
No, it's not actually. I think the problem is, of course, in that technical section you're talking about, the gap expands, and it's the straight that brings them back together.
Yeah, that's the beautiful nature of this track. Yeah, they're all together. And here in this, so tight. Oh, that was the replay. Okay, yeah, because I was about to say you cannot be this many cars in this section of the track. Oh, here's Send.
Went a bit wrong for a moment earlier on, unfortunately. I think that was William Fries who went round early on, and then we had a third incident on one of our early laps, and that was taking a bit too much exit curve there for one of our drivers, and I think that was Martin Butterson, and in fact 2 of them went round there. I don't think they planned that one, otherwise we call that synchronized spinning. Yeah,
it's often one driver's mistake replicated to the others. unintentionally. But they are really, really close together now, so no one is getting away. Nothing is settled yet, and we have 12 minutes remaining. But they are, as I can see, 2 or 3 packs now that are close. There's going to be much more overtaking, and I don't know. This track is actually also quite hard on the tires. What is the track temperature? It's 33 Celsius, so yeah, not as hot as last race, but they at the end of this they won't have that much traction and will be struggling. Even in qualifying I saw some of the drivers struggling with the grip, but that was probably more because of low temperature. Look how close Luke is here. He's breaking the draft. No, he doesn't want it.
It's interesting because he will get a slight side draft here, but like you say, he really wants to pull out a bit closer before he starts thinking about moves. So I wonder if this is more strategic. Look, I'm just going to let Mode lead the race, just stay behind him, and we're not going to fight each other now because we've still got plenty of time to go.
Definitely. This is very strategic. These guys knows each other and drive in the same team, so they know. And yeah, Malde can feel pretty safe right now with Victor this far away. Victor the only contender. I really like this section here. You can easily make a mistake. Actually, Malde went a bit wide. I don't know if you can get a slowdown there. I don't think so, but it was very close. It's a hard section, and you want to keep the momentum, but you are running out of track because it's a very sharp left. Okay.
100%. And it's one of those things as well. Of course, these drivers pushing as hard as they do, but that's the thing we might expect later on. Of course, tyre life starts to become a bit of a premium. You just need to drive on the limit to be able to lead the race or be in control. Small mistakes like that, a small off track, it could be the difference between victory or you finish at the back of the field.
Exactly. Look how close they are in this technical part here. And I did see some battles in the back with the Leroy. He dropped some position. Oh, this is good. It's real good.
And I mean, we've got battles everywhere we look, and we should point out as well, in those replays that we saw earlier on, ladies and gentlemen, we did also have a penalty awarded to number 16 of Nicholas Lund. The first incident you saw was the contact between him and another driver, and he has been given a 10-second post-race time penalty. So just a bit of context to why you had a penalty flash up on your screen about 5 minutes ago. But meanwhile, coming back to the present, well, again, Luke Reimer here playing wingman as they make their way onto another lap. Wonder how long Slash and Buck is going to want to play still. I mean, they're all part of the same team, and as we talked about last time, and the fact that Arctic Sim Racing, they do have a bit of a hierarchy out there. That's what you see on the liveries of the cars as well. But they're all itching to have their first wins of the season. They don't want to just let one man take every win.
Ooh, and just behind Sebastian here on screen, we have Noah. And Noah definitely wants to fight them. And I think that's why they're trying to break the draft as well. And separate it a bit so it's not as strong, so he cannot push an attack from 4 cars back. But look how close he is. He's really disturbing the dominance here, so nothing is safe when he is there. Yeah, they're definitely all hungry for victory. I'm surprised no one is sending it there. If it was not the same team, I think more people would have tried to outbreak each other there. Okay.
Most definitely.
This is close. It's real close.
Indeed, and as they roar the way around, well, we should keep in mind the fact that our top 6 here are only separated by 1.5 seconds, and we do have a 1.5 second gap back to 7th through to 9th. That's to Kilson, Probert and Sigor, and then we have our third pack that's very close together. So we have 3 main packs all contesting the top 12 to 13 positions, but it only takes one battle at the front here, and we could see this pack gradually push backwards towards the rest of the field, and that's what you can see here on the long start finish straight. But another lap put in the books there, and right now, Reimer once again just acting as cover on the inside. I also do wonder, Fredrik Kierkegaard, of course, is the only driver who has taken a win other than Morde Edward this season. He's 6th for the moment, but he might surprise everyone a bit later because he's just watching at the back of this group right now.
Yeah, they're 8 minutes remaining, and you need to be very wise about this. One thing we can note is that you don't have any DRS, you don't have any push to overtake or battery here. It's all about keeping momentum. So when you're driving this close, and let's say one guy misses the gear or hits the gear lever a bit later than the others, it has a ripple effect or a consequence for this guy. So it's the tiniest of mistakes. You cannot do it. So they are driving really, really, really beautifully right now.
Oh, without doubt. I mean, following this close as well, and the lap times are absolutely pixel precise every time. They are all within a tenth of each other, and right now, nobody is making a mistake, and time continues to wear down here. We can see that group of 4 behind as well. It's not far away. Magnus Jørgensen's on the back of that now, so 7th through to 10th are joined together, and then it's 11th through to 13th at the third group that you'll see every so often in the very rear of the picture when we have those longer panning shots. And in fact, well, as soon as on cue, thank you to our broadcast director, they're bringing us multiple perspectives. You can see the lead groups at the very top of your screen, and then you can see that battle, the freeway fight for what is 11th through to 13th on the bottom of your screen there. And those 3 have been absolutely going hammer and tongs for Rumfeld, Lauritsen and Pudder. That's part and part of the parcel of this racing. But meanwhile, at the very top here, we've got a change of foot. That is side by side between Sebastian Bach and Noah Carlson.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I think he can keep it. If he does... yeah, a little lock up from the left side. That's perfect for Noah. He got this one. But he has to fight for it. Holy, that's very close. He has to be... he has to defend here. And that can be quite expensive if he doesn't do it right. Let's hope no contact here. Oh, he's really conservative here. So his momentum out will be bad. And look at this. They will be swarming all over him. He's really defensive now, but the lead pack will get away now. There's nothing he can do. But really beautiful defense. He has to go on the inside very hard now. They start pushing. Yeah? What do you say?
Indeed, they come on down. I mean, that's 3 wide as well behind them. So we've got a battle at the front. We've got 3 wide behind, and that's going to be, I think, Marcus de Kilson squeezing his way. They're going to go 4 wide. No, you can't make it 4 wide into there. It's going to be contact wheel to wheel. And as they come in towards the hairpin, and they somehow survive it. How on earth do they manage to do that? It would be in pieces otherwise.
That was impressive and good driving. Some win, some lose. And we have 5 minutes remaining. It's not over yet.
Then, I mean, if that's just a warm-up to what's going to happen in the final 5 minutes, we're going to have no voices left by the end of this race, let alone the end of the broadcast. But still, our number 2 right now of Noah Carlson, after making that move for 3rd, well, like you say, Daniel, the gap to leaders now has opened up to 2 seconds. I mean, at this point now, he's fighting for the final podium spot unless the leaders start to fight each other. But Ryan and Eddup have literally been in sync all day long. Here comes Victor Nielsen, meanwhile, up the inside of Sebastian Bach, going for the swap here. Get that done into his turns 2 and 3. The answer is yes, and he looks like the inside, a small wheel touch there with Noah Carlson. He can't quite find his way from inside to outside. Carlson covers him off. Behind, meanwhile, still going to be side by side there between Sebastian Bach and Frederik Kierkegaard, and Marcus de Kilson will be watching on behind. There's fights everywhere, and the fight for 3rd, it goes uphill again, and Noah Carlson's getting used to defend on the inside now. He's had to do this twice now in a row, and he's going to hold on to it just about as Kierkegaard and Kilson also fighting there. And it's getting very fighty and bitey between these drivers, and nobody's backing down at the moment. And Sebastian Bach holding on in 5th, Kierkegaard behind him. Nielsen, Robert and Siegel catching up quickly as they all make their way down to the next braking zone.
And nothing is settled. And Noah is really defending hard and managing it, which is really impressive against Victor. Like, that crazy move by Victor. Well, let's see. This is epic driving 4 wide here. They made it again. Nothing is settled. And we have 3.5 minutes remaining. Victor is really, really offensive. I think he got this one.
Made that stick at long last, but look at Noah Carlson. He is looking to come back immediately. And remember the fact, of course, now Victor is going to have no slipstream on that start-finish straight. But what he will have is Sebastian Bach dive up the inside there and say to Noah Carlson, you left the door open. Sorry, I'm taking that off of you. So now Noah's got double the work to do down the straight and immediately pulls out there. But he has got marking him for the Kierkegaard, so Kierkegaard's going to swap with him as well. I think Carlson is ducking into the back of this group. I think he might be deciding, you know what, if I can't take 3rd, I might as well finish as far back in this group as possible, potentially, to start 3rd for the next race.
Maybe that's it. But he was fighting hard. He was fighting really, really hard. And awesome defensive moves. But yeah, he couldn't keep it in the end. And they're helping each other with the draft now. So let's see what happens further down the line. One thing I noticed when Malte was leading, actually in P8 and 9, they were driving faster than Malte. So yeah, people have still the skills to match.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it just goes to show you again how close this field is. And, well, if qualifying had worked out differently, I mean, we'd have different acts at the front, but the same absolute quality of race has been immense so far. And after this, like, they do have what is going to be 2 more laps to go based on the time we've got. What we can see is right now a bit more side to side here. That is going to be Marcus de Gilson defending against Miguel Seagull. I do believe as they make the way back on us here. Look to the inside. In fact, no, that's a bit further down the order. My apologies. That's Asker Lauritsen trying to look for a move here on Albert Quad. Does he get it done? They're so close to each other, but he looks absolutely cool and composed here. Just looking to his right, looking over his shoulder. Goes to switch back there. What a move!
And they see each other. Like the car ahead extended his move, and yeah, it still cost Asker some position. But great battling here, and maybe they'll catch up here on the straight again. This is what is good, because you battle in the technical part, and then you can catch up on the straight here if you get a good exit. Wait, yeah, Malte's pace is not that fast today. The others have catched up again. I thought he was gone.
Well, he may have tried to break away, but with the gap that he has bought himself, he may be safe. The only one with him is Luke Reimer, I believe, now.
Okay. Oh, sorry. It was the other pack I was looking at. Okay, these two are gone. Okay. Sorry.
No worries at all. It's absolutely hypnotised. That's how brilliant the battle it is. I mean, we're being spoiled with battles here, ladies and gentlemen. Take your pick of where the fights are going on. And right now, this is the fight for 3rd through to 6th on screen as they come down. Victor Nilsson ahead of Sebastian Buck, Fredrik Kirkegaard and Noah Carlson. And then I think the point you're making, Daniel, and a really good point, is that Miguel Seagull in 8th is really catching up to this group right now. And he's bringing with him Sander Robert, Magnus Jönsson and William Rumfeld as well. So they are coming together. We may have effectively a 10-car fight for 3rd place at the end.
Yeah, you don't know. But time is running out. They will have to finish this lap, so they can do one more, right?
Yep, you're absolutely spot on. We can do one more, I think, given the fact we've got 15 seconds left to go, and our leader is just about to squeeze his way across the finish line. There we go. There's your proof in the pudding. So we have got one more lap. I mean, can we not ask the organisers to extend this race by another 5 minutes? We want more of these.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the guys in P10 would love that. But yeah, we have white flag now. And let's see if Luke is pushing Malte a bit. Looks like Malte had to go defensive there. Interesting. Okay.
Looking one way, then the other. I think Luke's been absolutely patient here. He's played the wingman role all the way through this race, and now he wants a piece of the pie on the top step of the podium. But will he go for it into 6th? No, not quite close enough there. Doesn't want to dive yet. I think he's going to wait to the end of the lap.
Yeah, not here, but the next corner. Look, he's lining it up here on T9. That's a good place to overtake. But he's too far away. Can't do it here. Could have been closer. So you're right, probably at the end or next. At the start finish. No, he can't. No. Yeah, this is the final. Sorry, yeah. So he has to send it either one of these mechanical. Yeah, Malte is going super defensive. And they can afford it because there's a big gap down to the others.
Indeed, with a 5-second gap here, they can afford to fight every step of the way to the rear end, but Modern quite defensive as he comes in towards turn 13. Reimer looks around the outside, goes to the old switcheroo, but it's not enough. He hasn't quite got the traction. He's got one more chance at this.
Yeah, he has, yeah. It's not over. It's not over, because this is the right-hander to the... Does he block? He did. He didn't allow him to make a switch back. Okay, Malte takes it. Let's see the others.
Indeed, Border Edrup will be your winner. A big smile on his face with Luke Reimer chasing him every step of the way. That's your top 2, but who finishes in 3rd? It is going to be Victor Nilsson, who comes out home ahead of Sebastian Buck, with Fredrik Kirkegaard holding on to 5th. In the fight for stick through to 11th, take your guess, ladies and gentlemen, who's finished there. We believe it's Miguel Seagull ahead of Sander Robert, and William Rumfeld has just squeezed into 8th by only what was a 10th over Magnus Jönsson, and then Albert Quadra rounding off your top 10 just behind, with Lee Rauman Ross best the rest in 11th place. But goodness me, what a conclusion to this race. I mean, spoiled for choice battles every step of the way.
And look how close P8, 7 and yeah, all these guys were. You need a photo to see how close they are. Was it William Rønfeldt? I think he's the youngest one. Do you have his age? I don't even remember. Like, he's extremely... Anyway, you have the points.
Well, here's your results, ladies and gentlemen. Subject to any insurance inquiries after our first race of the day. Mod Edrup, your winner then, making it 8 wins and 9 races so far, ahead of his teammates of Luke Reimer and Victor Nilsson. Victor Nilsson having to fight for third every step of the way, and he was able to hold it ahead of his teammate Sebastian Bach. But baseline Esports team Frederick Kierkegaard completed your top 5, and it was a further 2.5 seconds to Mikkel Seagull, who put in a lion's effort in order to be able to make sure that Sander Brobert, William Rumfeld, and also Manus Jørgensen were not able to pass him. William Rumfeld deserves a special shout out. He will be your pole sitter for race number 2, the first time he takes pole position for this season for the CS55 team, and then we do see in 10th place Albert Quadrup rounding off that top 10. Behind them in 11th, it was Aske Lauritsen ahead of Philip Igegor, and then we did have Nicholas Lund ahead of Albert Palle, with Leroy Mount Ross completing that top 15, ahead of Noah Carlson, Marcus Kilson, Martin Bertelsen, Peter Looney, and then sadly we did have the retirements of a few drivers, including Miguel Njor, and well, last but no means least, ladies and gentlemen, we also did lose out with William Fries right towards the start. Fastest lap, it was none other than Marcus Kilson on our second lap of 38.484, but as quick as that, the race is complete, and I think we might have some interviews coming up, Daniel, with our podium finishers.
Let's get them in.
Alrighty, well, without further ado, we'll kick off as always with our race winner from race number 1, and joining us now in the interview room is none other than Mode Edrup. Mode, good evening to you, and well, what a race this one was. Took pole position by a major margin, but in the end, yourself and Luke Reimer worked together, and then Luke went on the attack on the final lap.
Yeah, we were lucky to get a bit of a gap, like halfway through the race, so yeah, we could just manage our tires and then fight for it on the last lap. So that was really nice.
Indeed, a very nice race for yourself and being able to enjoy fighting. Daniel, have you got any thoughts or questions for our winner?
Yeah, what's your strategy on overtaking people here on this coming from the back now?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good overtaking opportunities on this track. So I'm really looking forward to try to work my way up through the field, so yeah, it's gonna be fun.
In the slow corners or high speed corners?
Probably in the slow corners. I'm gonna try it. Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on you. Good luck and congrats.
Thank you so much. See you.
Bye.
So hearing that from our winner, ladies and gentlemen, and well, let's carry on through our podium finishers. Next up, we're going to be speaking to none other than Luke Reimer, who now joins us in the interview room. Luke, good evening to you, and a second place in this race, so close to that win. I mean, in the end, you went for it on that final lap.
Yeah, it is. I had to go for it in the last lap because now we had the gap to the guys behind, so I decided that I want to go for it. The whole race was just about getting rid of the guys behind so I could battle it out with Malte, and yeah, Malte, he drove defensive, good work to him, and he got the win, yeah.
Well, fair play. Daniel, got any thoughts for our runner-up?
Yeah, it was nice to see, but did you at any point start struggling with the tires, or are they holding up very nicely?
No, because I intentionally drove very cautious. I was very cautious with the tires throughout the race. I saw that Malte, he was struggling a bit and made a few mistakes, so I decided to just... it was very easy to stay close to him due to the draft, so I just took care of my tires, and then I had a bit of room to play with in the end, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And well, ladies and gentlemen, lastly, we're going to quickly come to our third place finisher of Victor Nilsson. Let's get him in quickly because we missed him last time out after race 1 at Mugello. Victor, third place, not the win, but what a battle he had to put off that final spot of the podium.
Yeah, that was a really, really fun race, especially when I started down. I think it was 5th. And yeah, I just had to keep my head calm, and yeah, that was a really, really fun battle.
Well, a fun battle, but now, of course, that means you're going to be starting 6th for race number 2. How are you going to fight your way through to the win?
I think I will try the same as last time, but this time I will try to be 3,100 ahead of Malte instead of behind him.
Fair play. Well, we'll leave you to it. Best of luck for race number 2.
Thank you.
Bye.
So hearing there from our final podium finisher of Victor Nilsson, I do love that. He does remember, of course, what happened at Mugello. He's definitely keeping that in heart.
Yeah, and I'm impressed that he actually made it to top 3, honestly. He was struggling this race, so yeah, let's see what happens now. Maybe he can change things a bit, because even though Malte is, you know, leaving the championship so much, it's not impossible. It's still not impossible, as far as I know.
Well, indeed. And what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to reserve the right to talk about who is provisional champion or that until we get to our season finale, just because we don't want to get things wrong and misannounce any things, which can happen. And also, to be fair, I think my calculator's just run out of battery here in the commentary booth. But here is our grid for what is our final race of the day. Starting on pole position, earning the right to do so, William Runfelt there, a brilliant battle to 8th place in race 1. He'll be joined on the front row of the grid by Sander Broberg. Then on row number 2, we're going to be seeing Miguel Sigor. After a difficult race number 1, he's now got another opportunity to really make a special one out of this one, and a frigate Kierkegaard. Then we do have, starting in 5th, Sebastian Bach ahead of Victor Nilsson, the man who we spoke 20 months ago, and his target today is not to miss out on that win. Luke Reimer starts 7th ahead of now 8-time winner Morten Edrup, and then we do have 9th, Magnus Joransson, who's going to be fighting hard to make his way forward alongside Albert Quadrum. Then we do have Atke Lauritsen starting in 11th for Forever Racing ahead of Transkolen, none other than Philip Irgor, and then we do have Nicholas Lund and Albert Palle making up your 7th row, ahead of Leroy Malmros and Noah Carlson. It'll be Peter Luning and Martin Burton on row number 9, and then completing that starting grid, 19th, it's Marcus Kilson ahead of Miguel Nyor, and William Free starts 21st of our 21 starters. Well, that's our grid, Daniel. They're almost all set to go once again. I think we can expect another exciting race.
Yep. And I don't know if the draft is gonna change anything this time, but I love the new the leaders. I really love William being in front. A super young guy that really wants to get ahead. If he can keep just leading this for a little, I'll be happy. Really rooting for him. But it'll be hard with the guys behind. Really hard.
Doubt about it. I mean, that's what we saw, of course, at Rudskogen Motor Centre with the wet weather conditions. It was those who started at the front who were able to do very well in the early stages, but no wet weather here today. It is clear skies, brilliant sunshine in Spain. I mean, you've got to expect that springtime here in the Spanish countryside, but all that grid set, and we're now just waiting for those lights to get ready to come on. But William Runfelt, he has his first opportunity here to lead the field away down to turn 1, and well, will he be able to maximise it, Daniel? I mean, he's got to feel as though this is a special one.
But the pressure is there as well. So when is the green light? Are we talking 30 seconds? 10 seconds?
I suspect it's going to be about 20 seconds away. They are just waiting, and they do have a 2-minute hold time on this grid to give them a chance to take a bit of a breather, much like you would in real-life motorsport there, where they normally do have a countdown. But here we go. The lights are now going on, ladies and gentlemen, and for the second and final time today in round number 5 here at the Skito Navarra, it's going to be fire red lights. Green. And it's lights out and away we go. And William Runfelt immediately carves over. They all do all that. A very quick start there from Sander Broberg. But Runfelt squeezes it. They all get close to the inside. That's crazy into turn 1.
Yeah, that's really. And Sander is so fast. He was actually faster than Malte at some point in race 1, I noted. So this is going to be a hard one. And are they all through T1 and T2 without crashes? That's impressive. Let's see how William battles this in between these two guys. And Frederik Kierkegaard is also coming in, so yeah, it's a bit wide here.
That's going to be cold tyres there. Sander Broberg, he really got a good start out of it, but William Runfelt tried to attack him around the outside. He wants that lead back.
Yeah. Look at him. Like, what is he? 11? I don't know. I think, was he 14? I don't remember. He's really young and full focus and already sending it, making the others do mistakes. He has the inside here though, but that turns to the outside in a second, so that one keep the momentum. Beautiful racing, and you can extend here without it costing too much. Oof, these guys. Okay, now it's all about catching on to the draft. Malte has not moved up yet, as far as I can see.
No, he's still in 8th place with Victor Nilsson at the moment, getting very elbows out there to 2 teammates. But it does seem as though there, Miguel Sigor has got that 2nd place off of William Runfelt, and in the end, that brave move around that side has worked out. But Sander Broberg's already opened up a 7/10 of a second gap. He will want them to keep fighting.
Yeah, Sander is he's gone. He wants this one. He really wants this one. And as I said, he was doing the fastest lap times in race 1. If he can keep that, it's his. But William is really really pushing it. You can see he really wants it flying in the car right there. Keeps the momentum somehow anyway, but he is on the outside now. That is not good for him.
Problem is going to be that Frederik Kierkegaard now, he's going to see that, and like a vulture to Garion, he's going to absolutely go all the way on the inside there and peck his way past, if he can, in towards turn number 6. Can he get it done? Yes, he does, but he has to outbrake himself there to hold on. And will change position, but he slots back in, does Wimfeld, and now looking to the inside there. And oh my goodness, Frederik Kierkegaard, if he'd gone any later to snatch the car to the left-hand side of the road, he would have gone spinning into that braking zone. That is as late as possible to do a switch of direction there. I think he might get a warning from the stewards afterwards to say there's a change of direction, and then there's that. But still, that's the brilliant racing we come to expect from these guys.
Yeah, they are relentless, Arctic Sim Sport, and again, look, they are eating him up one by one.
Don't interrupt. Look at what is Molde. They're going up the inside of Victor Nilsson. They are fighting incredibly hard there for what is 7th place in the background.
Yeah, looking good. This Victor really needs some points here, but he's on the outside now, right?
On the outside there, so he does fall back into 8th, but indeed right now I think Victor Nilsson saying if I can't win this one, then Molde can't either. But this is going to really light the field open.
He did you see that attack? He blocked it.
Yes.
So yeah, and here we go. What is this? 4 wide, 6 cars, 8 cars. So nothing is settled, and we have 16 minutes remaining. This will be good. And Sander is really pushing it. Let's see what happens here on the right hand. Malte has this one.
It's not the cleanest, but he's going to get it done. Oh, goodness me, there's contact there, and that's one car going sideways. Who is that? I believe that was William Rumfeld going very sideways. He's been tapped, and now he's going to find himself all the way down in 14th. He's going to be surrounded by none other than Albert Pallet, and also what will be at Marcus de Kilson. So he's going to drop to 15th, in fact, as he's going to tuck up the inside there. He's going to be able to get that place back. Well, Albert Palace simply used all the road, then plus some of the runoff area there. He's paid to use the circuit, so he's going to use it. Car coming back off the road, I believe.
Yes.
Well, I wonder who that was. Was that William Rumfeld? No, it's not William Rumfeld.
No. But yeah, it's not. Yeah, you cannot avoid some damage at that point. So I think you got in a sandwich here. You know, he was battling, and then Victor sends it here just behind. Have a look here on the blue car. Okay, that's a race incident. They're 3 wide, nothing he can do. None of them. So unfortunate for William, but good fighting. What? Yeah. That's not good. Did you see that cut?
I did indeed. Well, we do have a few cars that are damaged, we should point out, ladies and gentlemen, and they will be expected to come into the pit lane. Rumfeld is one of them, so it's Albert Quadra, Nicholas Lund, and William Fries. But I suspect the stewards might be taking a look at that one, what exactly happened there. Because I think some drivers might be having some tempers come off. Alternatively, they're driving cars that got too much damage to be in control. But still, whilst that racing went out of control, here's a replay. Oh, that explains a lot more. And that was a car going very sideways. Sadly. Well, that explains that. I think he was just trying to get the car home, and at that point, we had nowhere to go other than to drive across the road.
But look at these guys. Really nice battle, side by side. Oh, another spin in behind. Again, it's the tiniest mistakes. You cannot do it here. And comparing this to modern Formula 1, you do not have this battery power overtake options, so you have to keep the momentum. If you change to the wrong gear or brake a bit wrong compared to keeping the momentum compared to competitors, you're off. Or like a little slide that this guy had here, and he will lose this position because the other guy has the inside. Let's see, unless Albert sends it as well.
Well, we know Albert has a reputation for trying to go for moves and send it, but I think there he's deciding to let Jørgensen and also de Kilson just continue to fight each other 2 wide all the way through. He thinks he can get a 2-for-1 special here.
I love this technical part of this track. Look how many options it gives for everybody. Of course, they're losing to the guys ahead. Oh, and a little outbraking here, and he keeps it. Awesome.
Oversteer on exit, though, that might just open up the door for his rival to get another move back on him. In fact, he just loses out there versus Jørgensen, but he's going to be waiting. And behind now we do have Peter Looney. He's caught up to this, so all that fighting brings the next car in the pack onto it. And I mean, they're fighting over places outside the top 10, but they're still worth points to them. It's all about picking up every point they can. Of course, they make their way on to another lap here. It's also crazy to think that's just 7 minutes of racing. We've still got another 13 plus a final lap to go. This race has been absolutely fantastic.
Bit more rough than first round, but they are driving a bit more nicely. But looking at the lap times as well, I see they are improving. All of them are improving a lot here. These guys are not done, huh?
Definitely not, as we see Victor Nilsson here side by side with Asger Lauritsen on the inside all the way out the hill. Lauritsen's going to try and hold it all the way round. This is going to be brave. If he gets this done, he just run out of road there. And, well, he will be arguing that he was run off the road. Nilsson would argue that he was going to run out of road either way. And then diving up the inside there, as you were saying about momentum earlier, that's going to be a move from Noah Carlson.
And it's a super hard corner, like really, you need to position yourself so well. I've lost so many positions in that corner. But yeah, Noah is not giving up. He's really needing some points as well in the championship, to be honest. So it's tough odds against this Arctic sim. They have really been dominating this season.
Now, and meanwhile, speaking of the leading Arctic Sim driver in terms of the championship, here is Mother Edric, currently in 4th place. He has found his way past Sebastian Puck and Luke Reimer after all the chaos that unfolded a couple of laps ago. But now, his task is he's got to close down a 2-second gap to Frederik Kierkegaard, which, keep in mind, of course, he has no slipstream on the back of that top 3, so therefore he's got to try and find a way to outpace them. We know he was the fastest driver in qualifying. He proved that, because remember, closed qualifying session, nobody had the slipstream to work with there. They all had the circuit to themselves. But can he catch up to his top 3? The one thing he does have going from, I do believe, Daniel, is the fact that our top 3 of Brobear, Miguel Siegel, and also Frederik Kierkegaard, they're not all part of the same team, so they may not be wanting to work together.
Time will tell, time will tell. I actually thought that Sander would disappear, but looking at the lap times, Sigurd was faster last lap, so they are catching up. We have Leroy. Oof. Oh, what's that? That's Victor.
That's Victor Nilsson. He's just tapped him on the rear and sent Victor round. So for Victor, his championship campaign.
When the wing is gone. Did you see it? The wing is gone on Victor's car.
Yes, it definitely came off there. And, well, the loss of that wing, I don't think he's going to be able to carry on. I think he'll have to come into the pits at the end of this lap.
With 10 minutes remaining, that would be the best, yeah. That's tough. That's tough.
Mistake by the looks of things, but of course small mistakes can end up with big consequences, and sadly for Leroy Mount Ross, as much as I think he'll protest he was innocent there, I think the stewards might have a bit of a dim view on that one. There's no malice meant, of course, but that's what happens when it's close racing. Here is a replay of the incident and just comes up a bit too quick out of turn 5, and after that you make a small tap.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, you've probably been there yourself, Daniel. It's you got to hold on for dear life at that point.
Yeah. But that's also what I said. You know, he might think he's doing the right thing, Victor ahead. You know, braking when he thinks it's the right moment. But if the guy behind doesn't, then you know, this is the tiniest margin. That's why it's so impressive when they're just following each other with a few meters apart in this high-speed corners. You know, it's the smallest inputs can exactly result in that. And the same goes with the top 3 guys right now, where Sander is leading, and he wants that one, as so does Frederik, which, you correct me if I'm right, Frederik is the only one who has taken a win of these 3. Yeah. So the others are hungry, definitely. Now that Malle is not there.
I think hungry doesn't describe it. I think you'd say starving at this point.
Yeah. Oh, did Noah just get the slow down there? He was really wide through that left-hander. It could be that he will have to release the throttle, and then the other 3 guys will show up very close. Let's see.
Find out there's a change in due course. We see our top 3 together right now. Not quite perhaps at the point of the race yet where they want to go full attack on each other, but you can see that looming threat of 4th through to 6th. It's only 2 seconds behind right now. One small battle between this top 3, and suddenly it's a 6-way fight for the win. It is no longer a 3-way fight to who sits where on the podium. But we'll have to see what happens with regards to all those as our leaders now make their way back onto another lap. Well, 13 laps will be in this one as well, based on the amount of time, at least the rate they're progressing. And it does seem so in terms of track temperature, Daniel. The temperature has gone up a little bit by a degree, 33 degrees now, so not quite Magello temperatures as we said earlier, but still, these tyres towards the end of the race, they are going to be feeling that wear.
Yeah, and it will limit some of the options for attack, defense. So, yeah, nothing is settled. As I said, I thought Sander would get away. He didn't, and since the other guys caught up with him, he will go defensive at some point, and we will have a, what do you call it, a dogfight. Let's see what happens. Oh.
Then we will see that eventually, but as we do see on number 13 of Leroy Manross chasing after Marcus Kilson, well, he may not be aware of it yet, but he has just been awarded a 10-second penalty for causing a collision. That has been deemed by the stewards, and that would have been the contact to the back of Victor Nilsson's car. So unfortunately, the slam dunk there. So where he finishes, add 10 seconds onto his race time, he'll be demoted down. Asker Lauritsen may not be aware of it at the moment, so he's just going to keep chasing, currently running in 10th place. So looking left, looking right, trying to figure out where to attack.
And with 7 minutes remaining, he also needs to do it with some strategic, or not just send it on everything. And if he doesn't know about the penalty, then yeah, he won't do anything right now. Let's see.
I think it's going to come down to strategy at this point. Have you got any tyre life left to attack? Because if you've been attacking so much since the start, well, you're pretty much running on bare tyres at that point.
Yeah, that's why I asked the others, like how was the tire wear, and you could hear that they actually think about it, because you have fast corners and you have those slow mechanical corners where you can easily lock up. So this track is intensive, but it's a short race, 20 minutes is not that extreme, but there's still a factor to factor in when you're driving on the limit of grip.
Doubtedly. And if anybody's sat there right now thinking, how does this translate to real life? In a lot of FIA run F4 series around the globe, including the United Kingdom, you will see the races be around 20 to 30 minutes in length, if my memory serves correct. So this is very accurate to what you would see in real life, and hence why we do have the wonderful FIA F4 on the iRacing simulator, modelled on the 2022 spec car, if my memory serves me correctly. Of course, our drivers won't be thinking about that right now. Well, they may be wanting to get into F4 one day, these youngsters. Going the way down here, we can definitely see still that gap between third and fourth. It stays at 2 seconds, but our leaders are just getting closer and closer to each other. Sander Robert, I think to your point earlier, Daniel, he's not able to get away. I wonder if he's saving his tyres to the very end here. It's almost as if he's bunching the trio up.
Yeah, well, he tried to get away in the start, so let's see. Looking at the lap times, like the top 3 are definitely not the fastest. Mid-pack is fast as well. Even P10 is faster. So yeah, let's see. They are on the same team, as you can see. They are in the draft here, and they don't need to be scared of Malte catching them, or maybe. Are they waiting? I don't think so. Oh, look at this. He's breaking the draft.
Interesting. 5 minutes to go, and Sander Robert now starting to position himself to break the toe a little bit. So perhaps you think that's the picture, but that's moves the Seagull on the inside. And a bit of a touch between the wheels there. They survive it just about, but that's going to cost them time. And here comes Kick on the inside. He squeezes it towards turn number 4. And up the hill in towards 5 they go. Battle for second now.
Inside has it.
So all the way up the hill. Into that braking zone. It's Kierkegaard, like you say.
I think. What do you think? Yeah, no, it's not the red car.
Well, I've always heard the story of the red car and the blue car had a race, but not the red car and the orange car had a race. But in the end, the orange car wins it. Vigil Ziggle will take that second place back off of Fredrik Kierkegaard at the moment. But you can definitely see he's quite vocal at the moment on the radio. Making his way down here. They're enjoying themselves. Ooh, that's the concertina effect. Taps with the rear and backs off there immediately.
4 minutes remaining. This is not over. But will Sander Robert actually get away now? That's the question, because he has a little gap now. So Alde is still far away. So yeah. They have a couple of melees left they can do without costing them. We've seen it before, right? Malte just shows up and it takes advantage. So they need to be careful.
I mean, now they've been only 1.1 seconds behind now. He is closing, but they have calmed the fighting down at least for this month. So perhaps, like you say, they're just enjoying it once. Now they're going to reset that battle, and then on the final lap, they'll do it again.
If they want to stay on podium, at least, that's, again, we're back to strategic choices here. That's the beauty of this class. Yeah. this is a really fun right-hander, honestly. It just keeps going and going, and you need to trail brake so carefully, you know, because you can keep more momentum than you think. And yeah, there are three cars trying. Who's the lead pack here? Number 2? Noah?
Noah Carlson. So this is the pack for 7th all the way down to 11th place with Magnus Johansson. Going a bit too wide at turn 3 perhaps, but to be for exploring those track limits.
Yeah, let's see. But you can definitely see that this is not over. This number... Yeah, the guy behind Noah definitely wants wants that position.
Fighting it over 7th, and Marcus de Kilson all over the back of him. But like cars here in terms of liveries, I think these two, they've tried working together, and now they've decided, you know what, we're going to have a bit of a fight over this. Albeit Leroy Malmros is still watching it from behind.
Yeah, and 2 minutes remaining of the... Yeah, like, we only have 1 race after this one, so it's really matter now.
Coming down the crunch time here, and as we do see that battle for 7th place just wind its way on. Of course, this pack currently is Noah Carlson, Marcus Kilson, Leroy Malmros, Asger Larsen, and Magnus Johansson. Very tight. They've all come from very different backgrounds in this race in terms of where they've been caught up in the earlier incident. They've all survived it just about, and you do see Albert Pelle 3 seconds behind, and he's trying to close up as he can. But penultimate lap we go on to for these drivers, so on to lap number 12. We do. Well, right now, our leader, it's none other than Sander Robert. Half a second was the gap crossing the line. That gap is coming back down again. Seagull and Kierkegaard right now. I think they've decided to calm down for a bit. Fastest lap is owned by number 9, Fredrik Kierkegaard. He'll be happy to take that bonus point today. You can see in the background, Modder Edrup leading the group from 4th to 6th with Sebastian Bach and Luke Reimer there. But right now, he can't bridge the gap. It's still 1.4 seconds, and the slipstream is what's holding him back just a little bit, no matter how hard he hustles the car. But I guess the question is, Daniel, does Sander Robert have enough in him now to hold on for this lap plus 1 more, or is he at risk of being caught up here and passed?
It definitely looks like he's pushing it, extending and going wide on each corner. Let's see if he cuts this one. He did, yeah. So yeah, he's... Oh, did you see that? That was a slide with the rear. Yeah, that can cost a bit more than... Definitely not happy for that. So let's see. Really needs... This is the technical part. You really need to keep the momentum. Oh, now Mikkel makes a mistake. Will he be overtaken now? No? Okay.
Seems to be one thing I'm noticing is it's those apexes of these latter bends. They're quite high apex curves, so you see them hit them, and suddenly as they come down off the curve, the car understeers wide, but the rear slides loose where they've got no traction anymore.
True. Okay, so I think we will have a white flag in a moment. Is that right?
Indeed, on to the final lap of right now Mikkel Seagull. Well, you can see the grit on his face here. He knows that the gap to Sander Robert may be a bit big, and therefore he might have to worry about Kierkegaard behind, but we will see. One last trip around the Circuito de Navarra we have, ladies and gentlemen. Can Sander Robert hold on to become the 3rd name who takes victories? Meanwhile, the battle for 5th place. Luke Reimer side by side with Sebastian back there. The two of them literally run each other off the road and carrying on to the runoff area, but in the end somebody has to hold on, and it is going to be Reimer just on the inside in towards turn 4. And well, now Hagen back looking for the switchback, but glued to the back of his rival, taps him on the rear and says, yes please, I'll take that off of you. And Reimer right now is not going to give up there. He'll be 2 towards turn 8.
Yeah, and then they will have to outbrake each other in T9. Let's see what happens. He's definitely taking a different line. Luke has to take the 100% defensive line here, no doubt about it. The only thing they cannot do is have a proper contact and lose positions to the guys behind them. And here we enter the very technical low-speed mechanical grip corners here. They're driving really nicely against each other.
Brilliant battle in between them, and right now the fight for 5th. You can see how much time they've lost to Mulder Edrup, but as our drives come towards the very end, here is your leader, Sander Robert, holding on 2 more quarters to go. He clears turn 14 easily, now turn 15. All he's got to do is get this right on the brakes and make sure the rear of the car doesn't come loose. And well, ladies and gentlemen, the question of will we see a 3rd name take victory in this series? We will, because Sander Robert is going to come on home to take his 1st win of the season. That's a big smile on his face. He's over the moon with that. And completing the podium will be Mikkel Sigurd and Fredrik Kierkegaard there. 3 fresh names to the podium at some time. Morde Edric holds on to 4th. Sebastian Bach will take 5th ahead of Luke. Well, in fact, no, Luke Reimer takes 5th ahead of Sebastian Bach. And then we do see in that big scramble for 7th. It is Marcus de Kilson just ahead of his teammate Noah Carlson. We'll leave Roman Ross and Asger Lauritsen completing up that top 10. 11th, Anders Bjornsson, as the rest of the field now cools things on down. What can this be? What an absolutely hot-headed race this one's been, Daniel. Race 1 was peaceful. Race number 2, meanwhile, I think the Spanish sun has done something to our drivers. It's brought out the very best in them in some regards.
Yeah, it was awesome. And did someone just crash there? No, the race is over. But yeah, some close battles. You want to run through it?
Okie dokie. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here are your provisional results from race number 2, subject to any stewards' inquiries. And I suspect our stewards may be a little bit busy after this one. Sander Robert taking victory in the end by a 2nd for Arctic Sim Racing ahead of his teammate Mikkel Sigurd. Fredrik Kierkegaard for Baseline Esports team returns to the podium with a 3rd place. Morde Edric 4th there. But right now 9 with the difficulties for his teammate. It may be enough to get things done when we go to our season finale. Luke Reimer 5th in the end, holding off Sebastian Bach to the finish line. Then Marcus de Kilson was 7th ahead of Noah Carlson. Leroy Roman Ross and Asger Lauritsen completing that top 10 in a very tight fight for 7th through to 11th. But sadly, somebody had to be 11th and be the best DRS, and it was Magnus Jørgensen, the Dane in the end. 11 seconds off the winner, but 4 seconds clear of Peter Luning. The MT Race Team tries to survive in the scuffles early on to take his best result of the season and the midpoint, and then Philip Irgegård there in 13th. Martin Bertson, 14th ahead of Albert Palle. Then we did see William Rundfeldt, the man who started on pole. Sadly, the race all fell apart for him on lap number 3. And the CS55 car in 16th place had Nicholas Lund, Victor Nilsson, Miguel and Albert Quadup there, all the way down to 20th. And we also saw the retirements there for William at 3. So 4 retirees at the end. And, well, a bit of a difficult race for some, but not for everyone. And, well, I think with that, Daniel, an incredible race. And, well, we've got an incredible podium to interview today.
Yeah, nice with some new faces, honestly. I can't wait to hear Sander. He looked really, really happy. But yeah, he had the pace, so let's get him in.
Indeed, let's bring Sander Robert into the interview room. And as he does join us now, Sander, there was a huge smile on your face as you crossed that finish line. A first win of the season. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling always. I mean, we are here to win. We are not here to be number 2. So of course, it's a great feeling.
Then, I mean, the smile tells it all. And I think over to yourself, Dan. You might have some questions for our now 3rd race winner of the season.
Yeah, congratulations, Sander. And I saw in race 1 you actually had a really good pace as well. So I thought you would get away this time, but you had to fight for it, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we were, I think, 7 out of the top 8 cars were from my team, Arctic Sim. So it was quite difficult to communicate with your teammates. And of course, we always, everyone wants to win. So it's like in between the team that we have to decide who wins.
Yeah, I understand, but you definitely had to fight for this one in the end. It was not given to you, so really great racing. Awesome to see, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Sander, and we will catch you, of course, in our season finale in 2 weeks' time. But until then, savour that victory. You've earned it the hard way.
Yeah. Thank you.
So here and there from our race winner, Sander Robert. And let's not keep our runner-up waiting, because coming up next is Mikkel Sigurd, who joins us now in the interview. Mikkel, good evening to you. 2nd place in this one, not quite the win, but to be fair, you had to make sure that Fredrik wasn't going to take 2nd off of you.
Yeah, that was once again a good race. Struggling a little bit with the tires in the end. And yeah, Fredrik was just really fast. So happy to finish in the 2nd place.
And I'm sure if you've mentioned the fact you're struggling with the tyres, I think Daniel's going to grill you now with a few technical questions about your race.
No. I actually think, Mikkel, that was awesome racing. It was nice to see you pushing it so hard. I saw you also lost traction a couple of times, so that I guess that means you're pushing it to the max.
Yeah.
It was good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
See Mikkel in our season finale. But with that, ladies and gents, we now have our 3rd and final place finisher on this podium. Join us now in the interview room. It's none other than Fredrik Kierkegaard who joins us. Fredrik, congratulations on making it back to the podium once again. It's been a little while since we've seen you on the podium. Not the win this time, however, 3rd place, but a well-earned one.
Yeah, we have practiced a lot on the other circuits. I was quick in the wets, and actually first time we managed to get the pace in the dry. So yeah.
Brilliant pace out there. And I do have to ask, just before we come to Daniel, I mean, are you a bit of a wet weather specialist then? And perhaps dry conditions have been something you're working on?
Yeah, you see, from the bend qualifying to Roskilde, there's a big step up. So I think the wet weather conditions are suiting me better.
Fair play. Over to you, Daniel.
Yeah, I think you did well, and as I just said to your buddies, like I think all of you three had a really good pace, and it was nice to see a battle. And you're also going a bit side by side with your buddies, right?
Yeah, we have some small battles. You know, every time you make a mistake, you lose time to the group behind. So we have to be clever to move forward, because you don't want to be catch up by a group, especially if it's only top 3.
Exactly. But I think you managed well, so congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good points.
Yes.
Well, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we will see Frederick in our season finale of the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. But until then, we wish him all the best luck in his preparations. But what a day it has been, Daniel. I mean, we have had some absolutely incredible races here today. 2 races that have been absolutely cutthroat, particularly race number 2. I mean, is that the best way to describe it, or have you got some other adjectives you use?
I really loved the photo finish at race 1 as well, you know, not to underestimate, because, yeah, this race 2 was a bit more action-packed in terms of contacts. But pure racing-wise, I think race 1 was actually also very interesting.
And the good news is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, the sun isn't quite setting on this series just yet, because that was our penultimate round. And, well, we're not going to have to travel too far, because in the background you can see our host for our finale on March the 30th will be the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, a circuit which is known for its balanced nature, as well as the fact under the Spanish sun there's a little bit of fun to be had. But of course, we've seen today battles are plenty in both our races, and Mother Edrup has continued to lead in terms of points scored. He is the favourite going into the season finale, but will there be a late twist in the tale? The only way to find out is to come join us live from Circuit side next time out, as we will be bringing the curtain down on the 2026 FI F4 Esports Danish Championship. It's brought to you on iRacing, and well, until then, ladies and gentlemen, it's goodbye from us here in the commentary booth. And this broadcast brought to you by RaceSpotTV. But until next time, remember to stay safe, stay well, stay smiling, and most importantly, remember to stay on track. Good night.